Most people think cats are just fluffy, lazy creatures who spend their days napping in the sun. Cute, right? But here's the paradox. What if I told you that behind those glowing eyes lies a world of secrets they've been hiding from humans for centuries? It sounds crazy, almost offensive to believe a house cat could know something you don't. Yet, history and little everyday coincidences suggest otherwise. Think about it. Why do cats stare at empty corners of the room as if they're watching something invisible? Why do they sense storms before the clouds even gather, or vanish right before something bad happens? People dismiss it as instinct, but isn't it funny how instinct starts looking a lot like knowledge when it's too precise to ignore? The truth is, cats know more than we've ever dared to imagine, and they've been keeping it from us. And here's the kicker: what if this silence isn't accidental? What if cats are actually guardians of truths we're not ready for, protectors of mysteries that could change the way we see the world? That's not just a cute thought, it's a disturbing one. Because if they've been keeping secrets, it means there's something worth hiding. Something we're not supposed to see. By the time you finish this story, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start wondering if the real mystery isn't why they hide it, but what happens when one of them finally decides to reveal it. Most people look at a cat and see nothing more than a quiet pet stretched across the couch, half asleep, purring away. But behind those glowing eyes, there's something we often miss, an intelligence that doesn't fit the box we try to put it in. You've probably noticed how a cat seems to know things it shouldn't, like showing up at the door minutes before you arrive home, or staring at a spot in the room as if it can sense something invisible. That's not random. That's a hint of a power that's always been there, but that we rarely stop to question. Think about it this way. Every culture in history has, in some way, attributed mystery and wisdom to cats. From the temples of Egypt to the stories told by sailors who believed cats could predict storms, there's a pattern. And patterns aren't coincidences. When you connect the dots, you realize there might be more truth in those old superstitions than we dare to admit. Personally, I remember a night when I was studying late, and my cat suddenly jumped on the desk, staring at a page in my book as if he wanted to warn me about something I had overlooked. It wasn't random, it was almost like he knew where my attention should go. Now, let's bring this down to something practical. How many times in your own life have you ignored small, subtle signs because they felt too strange to take seriously? Maybe your gut told you not to trust someone, but you brushed it off. Maybe your pet acted uneasy around a certain place, and you laughed it away. But those moments can carry weight. One way to practice noticing is to start a simple daily journal. Write down every small odd thing you notice, even if it feels silly. Over time, patterns start to emerge, and you realize that intuition, much like the instincts of a cat, can be trained. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. What if these hidden powers aren't just about survival, but about guarding something deeper? Cats don't just wander into your life, they station themselves like guardians, watching silently while we remain unaware of the bigger picture. They're not flaunting what they know, because true power doesn't need an audience. It simply waits for the right moment to reveal itself. And that's when the threads of a much older story begin to show. If you dig deep into the dusty corners of history, you'll find cats not just wandering in the background, but standing guard at the very heart of some of humanity's greatest mysteries. Ancient Egypt painted them into sacred walls, not simply because they were beautiful, but because they believed cats could protect the pharaoh's soul on its journey to the afterlife. And it wasn't just Egypt, Vikings carried cats on their ships. Monks in medieval Europe whispered about their uncanny ability to sense danger before it arrived. Every civilization that crossed paths with them left behind breadcrumbs of a much larger story. Imagine, for a moment, a hidden library in the desert, filled with scrolls about forgotten knowledge, guarded not by soldiers but by a small army of cats, slinking through the shadows. Sounds like fantasy, right? But then again, so did Troy before it was discovered. History is full of things we once called myths until someone dug a little deeper. In my own travels, I once visited a monastery in Portugal where the monks swore. The cats that lived there had kept the silence of the walls for centuries, warning them whenever thieves or strangers approached. You can call it superstition, but experience like that leaves a mark, and here's a thought. What if cats weren't just companions to the powerful, but actual custodians of sacred artifacts and knowledge? Think about how many priceless treasures and documents have been lost to time, burned, stolen, or erased. Yet the presence of cats, recurring again and again in historical records, makes you wonder if some of that wisdom wasn't hidden but rather protected. In practical terms, that reminds me of how some of the world's most guarded secrets aren't locked away in banks or safes, but disguised in plain sight, like encryption codes hidden inside harmless-looking text, or maps disguised as simple drawings. That's the thing about history. It's never just what we read in school. The real stories live in whispers, in symbols carved into stone, in myths that refuse to die. And cats, those quiet observers, are always there, slipping between the pages of history, carrying a story too big to tell outright. Which makes you wonder, if they've always guarded the past so fiercely, what kind of secret could be dangerous enough that a single cat would try to hide it from even the person who loved it most? There's always that one story that feels heavier than the rest, the kind of tale that makes you lower your voice instinctively, as if speaking too loud might awaken something best left alone. Picture this, a seemingly ordinary cat living with a family in a quiet town. To everyone else, it was just another pet. But every night, when the house was dark, the cat would slip away, hiding something beneath the old floorboards of the attic. The owner eventually noticed scratches on the wood, odd behavior, but could never catch the cat in the act. And here's the unsettling part. Whatever was hidden there, the animal guarded it with a ferocity you wouldn't expect from such a gentle companion. Now, why would a cat keep a secret from the very person it trusted most? Because sometimes the weight of a secret is too much for a human to bear. Think of it like stumbling upon classified files at work or hearing a confession you were never meant to know. It changes you. Maybe the secret was tied to something dangerous, something that, if revealed, would put the owner in harm's way. I've seen parallels in life, friends who carried family secrets for years, protecting others by staying silent. It's not about hiding out of malice, it's about shielding someone from a truth they're not ready to face. And here's where it gets practical for us. What secrets are you carrying that you think you're protecting someone from? We all do it, whether it's hiding our struggles so we don't worry a loved one, or keeping knowledge to ourselves because we think others wouldn't understand. The irony is, secrets don't just live in the dark, they shape our choices, our relationships, even our sense of safety. That cat's behavior mirrors what we do. We circle around the truth, guard it fiercely, and convince ourselves it's for the best. But deep down, we know secrets have a way of clawing their way back into the light. So here's the real kicker. If cats have spent centuries guarding knowledge and hiding truths too powerful for humans to handle, then the question isn't if there are forbidden secrets around us, it's how many we've already missed. And maybe, just maybe, the next time your cat stares at a corner of the room for no reason, it isn't no reason at all. So, now that you've seen the hidden side of cats, their powers, their history, and the secrets they guard, let me ask you something. What if everything you thought was ordinary around you wasn't so ordinary after all? Paw prints. Have you ever noticed your cat doing something strange, like staring at a wall, reacting before anyone else, or protecting a spot in your home as if it mattered? Maybe it's time you start paying attention. The real question is, what truths are hiding right under your nose, waiting for you to notice? Because just like those feline secrets, life often whispers before it shouts. Are you listening? Or are you too distracted to catch the clues? Here's my challenge for you. Tonight, take a moment and watch your cat. Don't scroll, don't rush, just observe. You might be surprised at what you pick up when you slow down. And beyond that, what other secrets in your own life deserve to finally come to light? Because the difference between living in the dark and stepping into clarity is simply having the courage to see. If you want to keep uncovering mysteries like this and train your mind to notice what others miss, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who also needs to see the world differently. After all, the secrets aren't going anywhere, but maybe you're finally ready to find them.